And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for day 2 of the 2022 Philippine Flying Disc Association Mixed Nationals happening in Bacolod City, Philippines. This is Pingoy Bautista, alongside with my fellow commentator for the weekend, Mr. Cedric Palomares. We are featuring right now the semifinal matchup between Seed 2, Seed 2 Extreme and Seed 3 MULATTO, coming from Dumaguete and Davao, respectively.
Thanks, Ping. And on the other field, on field 1, happening right now as well, it's a semifinals match between Sunken Pleasure and Sid Vicious. Luzon rivals at that.
We just see their first score by Extreme, striking first blood, 1-0. And we're seeing an army of gray shirts storming the field after that successful score. Ted, do you remember who started on offense?
I think that was a break point with MULATTO on offense.
Okay. Our apologies for the stop and go broadcast for this game. Unfortunately, the rain is coming back down hard, and we'd like to request again, if you have friends that are watching the showcase field, watching live on the showcase field, to please stay away from our equipment as you are eating into the signal of the broadcast, or be on airplane mode.
Alright, and we have Extreme with the first break of the game. But these games are 70 minutes long, with 1 timeout per half, race to 13.
Yeah. Both these teams are no strangers to making it to the semifinals. Both have been in the top 5, top 4 bracketing for nationals in the past, with Extreme making 2 appearances into the finals and winning one of those finals, and MULATTO still not making an appearance in the finals, but have been successful in representing the Philippines in WIFDIF events. As you can see here, them scoring their first point of the game and getting back on track. Score is now 1-1.
A lot of strong players in this MULATTO lineup. We have Antonio Francisco, we have Gerard Castor, we have Nelson Cañedo. So there's depth and breadth of talent and experience in this MULATTO line. So yes, they have yet to make a finals appearance in the mixed nationals competition, but I do feel like that they have a good shot at this. What do you think, Ping? Between the 2 teams, if you had to choose, who would you put your money on?
Right. Again, like what you were saying earlier, said both these teams have had that experience and have that knowledge on how the game is played. Going back with MULATTO, they've made their appearance into the final. They've made their representation of the country in both AOU GCC and WFDF events. They are the champions of the 2017 AOU GCC, as well as the the representative of the Philippines in the World Ultimate Club Championships in Cincinnati that was organized by WIFDIF. So this team is no stranger to high-level competitive games.
We're starting to see some rain as well. The first few games today was very fortunate to have a more cooperative weather, if I can say it like that. But we're starting to see some rain again, and you can see some patches of mud in the field because yesterday things weren't as cooperative. The downpour was much worse. Anyway, Mulatto with a chance to get their breakpoint, first breakpoint of the game, and go back on serve. We see here some of the players, some of the throwers having a hard time just keeping that pivot foot on the ground. That's how bad the situation is right now.
I actually wanted to ask you right now, as well said, in situations like this where the field has turned into mud and, and sludge, um, would you be very particular with calling travel?
Sorry, I was just amazed by that bid. Almost got it though, almost for that break point. But I guess to answer your question, I'd like to give a certain benefit of the doubt because like I know how hard it is to stop momentum when it's muddy. But of course, it's not an excuse. The rule is as long as you make a visible effort of stopping momentum, you can. That's not a travel anymore. But for me, if it's like slips by like if you're the thrower and then your pivot foot slips by an inch or two, personally I wouldn't call it anymore because like it's not a significant infraction, and I think that's part of the appendix of the rules of whiff dip, right? As long as it's not a significant infraction, mm, it's probably best to just not call it.
Yeah.
But anyway, extreme holds and it's now 2-1.
Yeah. So as we were talking about our live broadcast for the past couple of days, we were able to see what Extreme is capable of doing yesterday as they beat second seed Vicious uh, in their crossover matchup. But this would be the first appearance of Mulatto on the showcase field, so we really don't know who are the key players or who are the ones making the moves for Mulatto. We do know that they were very dominant in their games yesterday. Um, with wins 13-1 against KAIJU, as well as a 10-9 finish against NFDA. Very tight, close game. But again, those are the things that we don't know the level of game for these teams. So it's very nice to finally get to watch these guys on a showcase field and watch them compete.
Here we have Mulatto in their offense. Ponyo Francisco finds an under. They continue to move it on the open side, shooting it down in the middle. Blocked by Extreme. And here's Extreme coming down with a hawk of their own. Ryan Amor at the end zone. Wide open receiver. No one there to contest it. That's another break point right there by Extreme.
Dumaguete slowly inching away from Davao, little by little. And that's actually one of the nice things that we want to just express and show in these national events is that we have teams representing different regions or different areas around the Philippines. We have 3 teams from Luzon or Metro Manila, and we have a lot of teams from Visayas, and also teams from Mindanao. So it's a great way of showing the different talent and the different playing styles of each region in this national event.
Yep, in this semis matchup, we have a team from Visayas, which is Extreme, and we have a team from Mindanao, which is Mulatto. And then on the other end, we have 2 teams from Metro Manila, which is Sid Vicious and Sunken Pleasure. So by the end of the semifinals, we will have 1 team from Luzon or Metro Manila and 1 team from the provinces.
And that was not a scripted result. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. All teams are really trying their best, and it's very interesting to see the performance of these teams moving up into the finals. MULATTO slowly working that disc down. Overshoots that pass. Extreme now with a chance to extend their lead.
In the game yesterday between Extreme and Vicious, one of the key factors of their success is how smooth their offense was and how strong their handlers are, making the most of every space that they can find. Let's see if MULATTO can make it harder for them to execute.
Okay. MULATTO with a travel call. And with a block.
Nice D there by number 8.
Yeah. While we're in dead air right now, Sid, I'll just bring it up there. Just going back with that traveling call. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I'm pretty sure you are. What is your stance on bunny hop traveling?
What do you mean by bunny hop traveling?
So you've played Counter-Strike in the past.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you know the bunny hop.
Yeah.
Where bunny hop travel is when a person gets the disc with very little or no momentum moving forward, and yet when he catches the disc, he jumps and takes several steps forward.
Yeah.
So what is your
Yeah,
stand on that?
I've seen people do that, and 9 out of 10 times I call it as a travel. But I don't know. What about you?
I'm not really a fan of it. Yeah. Nice layout catch by Extreme, keeping possession of this. Shoots
Lady
it,
shot long.
force it. A foul is called. No contest on that
Or a
foul.
strip.
Or a strip.
On Ryan Amor.
Yeah. Score is now 4-1 in favor of Extreme.
Ryan Amor
And I
being
think
one of
our
the strongest contributors of Extreme. As of day 1, he had 10 assists, 6 goals, and 4 blocks, and has also represented the country in several beach ultimate competitions here in the region and internationally throughout the globe. Score is now 4-1 in favor of Extreme. Extreme coming out strong with these first 5 points. What do you think, Ping? What adjustment MULATTO needs to make at this point to stop the bleeding, so to speak?
And again, I think it's just a matter of just calming down your nerves. I mean, slowing down the tempo on offense. We've noticed that most of their turnovers are because of really strong passes to in cutters. And unfortunately, because of the terrain that they're currently playing on, it's really hard to run after the disc. So they have to make their throws a little bit softer, or adjust the strength of their throws. As we see them now back on offense against the zone defense applied by Dumaguete. Travel call
on Nelson Caneda.
No, I don't think it was on Nelson. I think it was from the first thrower.
Okay. Yep.
But I think they would have called the travel on Nelson as well. And the
block. Oh, nice D there.
Number 2. Extreme player.
Was that a zone look from the extreme defense?
That looked like a zone defense.
What a beautiful shot down the sideline, breaking that mark, giving such an easy float for the receiver to just run to. We could see that on replay once again. But again, we get another break point from extreme, bringing the lead now to 4.
Yeah, we're seeing that intensity from extreme. I mean, they're making the calls, they're making the stoppages, and they're also getting they're capitalizing on those break opportunities. So it's very interesting to see what Davao has on store to be able to catch up, because we are 2 points away from taking mirror, and that can happen in less than 5 minutes. So now's the time for MULATTO to get their act together and focus and dive in.
Mm-hmm. And with MULATTO starting on offense in the first half, if by any chance Extreme gets the half, that's gonna be an easy, or rather, almost a +2 for them. For Extreme,
Exactly.
if they get the half.
You do not want to get into that cushion set. Like you lose your half, and then you have to give your back on defense. It's like one of the worst ways to start the second half for any team.
Exactly.
I'm so curious to know what's happening on the other field. I'm really hoping and praying that Glenn and our team from Upstream Meet Sports TV can swivel the camera just for a split second to see what's happening on field 1. If our commentators, if our friends on the World Wide Web or who are watching that game can tell us updates on that game too, that would be great. If you can leave on the comment section the score of Field 1, that would be awesome.
There you go from the announcer. Don't keep us hanging.
So again, here MULATTO working their way against the zone defense of Dumaguete.
MULATTO getting a lot of yardage from that give and go. Finally get a point.
Team Extreme 5-2.
I'm reading the comments of the YouTube channel, and they're all asking for SP Vicious coverage or the score. I'm like, no, guys. We just saw SP play on the same field the last broadcast. We're giving a chance to all teams to get some sort of representation. So unfortunately, we cannot. But I do feel your intent, or where you want to be able to get that coverage as well.
If you want to watch that game, Diego Bargos is streaming it live from his phone, so you can check that out. Going back to this game, we have MULATTO, Antonio Francisco with the ball. I'd like to see them get a break point here to extend the game and cut the lead short.
Here we have our extreme players bringing it down to the break mark, and let's see if MULATTO can get the stoppage on this point.
MULATTO showing a man defense. To which Extreme answers with a vert stack and quickly getting it on the break side, but call on the field stops the game.
I'm curious to know if the sideline of Field 1 is on the same side as the camera crew.
Namit na practical pa. Claimer clock sarap.
I think it is.
Those
But
players na
anyway,
dito nakapag
this goes back
picture
to
taking, please
the
be
thrower.
reminded.
Play resumes.
Resume.
They go with the same play, getting it on the break side to number 24. Gets it under to number 30. And release it to number 29, shooting it deep with a forehand flick. On the break side. Lays out for the disc. But no deuce. Antonio
So,
Francisco to pick up the disc. Yeah.
with MULATTO with a chance to be able to get that break point, try to crawl their way back and close to Extreme.
Antonio Francisco has such a long range with his hawk at this end zone. He can throw it to the other side of the end zone, so no white jersey must be left unmarked if he has the disc.
And usually I'm more familiarized with him wearing a Boracay Pirates jersey, as he's been a member of our mixed national team for Beach Ultimate so many times in the past. So it's nice to also see him play on grass as well.
Yep. Gerard Castor. Travel call on him. But I'm sure you've seen Castor play more than once. He's such a hard person to mark. With being a left-handed player and he's got such springs on his legs, he's so hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to be able to work with this guy on the under 23 national team that went to Perth back in 2018. And yeah, his explosiveness with the rest of the team was definitely a sight to watch. Unfortunately, in this turnaround, MULATTO was unable to capitalize on that turnover, and Extreme is now back on the offensive.
Another player from the Perth roster, I think, is on the field right now, Dan Avena. Another
That is correct.
strong player from Mindanao. There is a call.
Just an update on field 1. The score is 4-3 in favor of SP. That's as of just a few moments ago. This was, again, I learned this through the FOTS hotline. Thank you, Mana, for sharing that information.
And Extreme turn it over once again. So far, not the cleanest point with turnovers from both sides, but that's quite expected. This is the semifinals of Nationals 2022. The pressure is high for both teams as we see a bid there from Extreme. Tonio Francisco now with the disc, threw it to the break side with a dagger. It's too sharp for the receiver. Another turnover.
Yeah, and we're expecting better power position decisions from Bulantoy. It's like you've got no mark. Your mark just made a layout attempt on you, and you're wide open with that pass. We have more than enough time to make that pass. Again, this is so far being the longest point of this game between Extreme and Mulatto. And Extreme realizing that, calling their timeout, burning their first timeout.
I think the point has been close to 10 minutes now. So Ping, what's your beverage of choice today? Still water?
Oh no! I've got my Arabica black.
Wow.
My venti Americana, Arabica. No sugar, no creamer, dark.
Again, happy Father's Day to all of fathers out there. How are you spending your weekend, or rather your Sunday with the family? Anything special?
Well, I've been spending it with you for the last couple of hours, so
I'm so touched. Hila, I'm sorry. Don't be jealous. I'll give him back after today.
She's giving you weird looks.
Don't be jealous. This is just a weekend fling. It's gonna end soon. A weekend LDR fling. But again, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is MULATTO versus Extreme in the semifinals match. On the other field, we have SP versus Vicious. These are the top 4 teams currently vying for national champions. And play resumes. Call downfield.
Score is 5-3 in favor of SP on the other field. As we get back on serve here on field 2.
Again, all of this is brought to us by Upstream Sports TV. They're such wonderful partners, having worked with them. One of the persons on this call you don't hear and you don't see is Glenn. He's been very good as a producer, helping us out with all of the camera angles. I know there's so many challenges right now on site, but they're doing such a good job covering this. Castor sends it long. Hospital pass, but number 26 manages to save it. Disc is now with Danavenia. Crucial point after how many minutes back and forth. Let's see if MULATTO can finally close it down. MULATTO, Antonio Francisco, also known as Bulantoy, resets to Danavenia. A bid from Extreme to contest it, but Disc is still with MULATTO. Taking their time in front of the end zone. They don't want to throw this disc away again.
Here again, we see the MULATTO players working it in no man's land, aka the muddy patch of the field. They finally swing it to the other side. And it looks like they've just scored their point. Yeah.
First break point from MULATTO. Cutting the lead short to 2.
And that's something that I've noticed with the playing style of provincial teams so far. And well, the only Metro Manila team that we've covered. Oh no, the second Metro Manila team that we've covered, um, being Sunken Pleasure, is that we had more depth in the distribution of the passing of the disc between players on SP as compared to both Extreme and to MULATTO, where we see really 3-4 players working the disc down and exposing it to one isolated player in the end zone for the point. So, different styles, different mechanics, or
Yep.
different playing methods, but they get the results that they want. And yeah, it would be nice to see to review these games later on.
And we are not one to judge or speak because we are just commentators. We are not playing at the national level. But yes, definitely there are different ways of going at the game. Just in that point alone, for example, MULATTO in front of their end zone, just all 4 boys swinging that disc around, and the girls get it at the end zone for the point. As compared to the other teams that we've seen, which has more dynamism across all 7 players. But no matter how you do it, as long as you get the point, you get the point. That's all that matters.
Exactly. And here we are again with Extreme working it down, using more depth with their women handling right now in this possession. Disc is swung to the far end of the field, far side of the field. Swung back into the middle of the field.
Just having some technical difficulties on site. But there you go, it's back. But yeah, I think one thing to note about Extreme and the whole Negros region is how well they develop the girls. I think
Yes.
there's a trend going even before the pandemic. A lot of the players from Bohol, from Dumaguete, they were strong contenders in the single gender scene before the pandemic, and we're seeing it pay dividends here in the mixed division.
Again, it looks like MULATTO was able to get the Brock and was able to score a break point. Not really sure if that really happened, but it does look like from the updated video that we're seeing that they just scored.
Based on the number of high fives that have been given.
Yeah.
This is the other stream. This is the other game happening right now, care of Diego Barrios, between SP and Vicious.
It's 12:25. That time check is brought to you by.
Do we know the score of the other game?
Score is 6-3 in favor of SP.
Wow. Earlier it was just 4-3 in favor of SP, so they're starting to run away with it with the 3-0 lead. You know, these things can go any way until it's done. For the field that we have currently, Extreme versus MULATTO, can we just confirm the score? From our count, it's 5-4 in favor of Extreme. I'm not sure that it's 6-3. This is Nelson Cañeda with the pull. Setting up for the pull, rather. So far, MULATTO has just been showing a tight man, tight one-on-one defense, and it has been working. We'll probably do the same here.
Yeah. Again, most of the turnovers that we've been seeing are just strong throws made by really made to really difficult or cuts. You know, most of the turnovers I've seen in the last couple of days have been really good throws. Unfortunately, because the traction of the field that we see, the condition of the field that players are playing on right now has made it very difficult for them to be able to score.
Just exactly what we see here in this point. Turnover from that long throw from Ryan Amor.
Yeah.
Gerard Castor holsters that puck.
And as I can hear from the announcer, SP has just taken half on field 1, score 7-3. As we get back to this closer game up between Extreme and MULATTO, score is 5-4, with MULATTO with a chance to tie the game up at 5. Great block by our Dumaguete player.
Ryan Amor getting the disc back. They got a shot long. Number 2 comes down with it. Big smiles. Fist bumps. Hard-earned point by Extreme. First now 6-4.
You were mentioning earlier, said about the development and the growth of provincial teams and provincial ultimate players. One of the regions or one of the cities that is not being represented in nationals this year is Iligan. Both men's and the women's team have represented or have made it to the finals multiple times, primarily in the women's division. I believe the Iligan Amazons is one of those teams that has dominated the women's division, the women's single division for the longest time in national events. Unfortunately, we don't really have any visible representation of Iligan in this matchup, and we're really hoping that in future national events we can see them again.
Correct. Not as a team, but I do know that there are a handful of players. For example, Len Piquero, also from Iligan, is playing under sunken pressure, wearing an orange jersey for this tournament. But yes, I remember the first nationals, first single gender nationals we had also in these fields. They were just crazy out there on the field. The Amazons, I think that's what that's their team name. They had such confidence in their throws, the way they made use of bladey throws, overhead throws. It looked so risky, but they performed it with such ease, as if it's not the first time they were doing it. Yeah, I do want to see Iligan come out with a mixed representation in the next nationals.
Yeah, again, you see that turnover recently. Just now, we just witnessed 2 turnovers by MULATTO and Extreme. Again, a result of just really hard cutting conditions for our players. As MULATTO is able to get the disc back, Bulantoy motioning for his players to come back in for in-cuts. Let's see what they do moving forward.
Number 73 downfield, I think that's Bryle.
And they're successful with the score.
6-5. Again, score update for pitch 2.
Score is now 6-5 in favor of Extreme. And again, I think that's the one thing that they need to do in this matchup. They have to stop going deep and just work on their in-cuts, because you have an easier way of being able to adjust your momentum, making an in-cut as compared to running long, especially in these conditions. We saw this time and time again in yesterday's broadcast, as well as the earlier matchup today. So really hoping that MULATTO can continue with this adjustment in their offense and make the most out of these in-cuts. But again, Extreme with a chance to break away. Break to be able to take half.
Yep, I think it's really working out well. Oh, sorry, but we have here the stream of SP versus Vicious. Do you have a score update here?
Score is now 7-4 in favor of SP.
Okay. So Vicious able to get 1 point up, cut the lead down to 3. But yeah, I was about to say, I think the reason why the person defense of MULATTO is working is because two things. One, the mud, and two, there's no air. So it doesn't make sense to go with the zone defense because your defenders will have a hard time catching up to any floaty throws that you might bait. And also, there's no wind, so it's gonna come down as soon as possible. Man defense puts a lot of pressure for the receiver to make good cuts, and as we have seen since yesterday, it's really hard to change direction here. And as athletic as all of these players are, you can't beat Mother Nature.
Yeah. I don't know what happened because the stream is chopping in and out, but it looks like MULATTO just tied up the game at 6 apiece. I
Oh
don't know
wow!
if the pull was dropped, or I don't know if the first pass was caught. All I know is that Bulantoy had made some sort of layout, and they just tied up the game 6-all.
I think what happened was Bulantoy teleported to the other end zone and then just got a Callahan. Because that was just like a minute, 30 seconds or less. I just stood up to get coffee and then MULATTO now generates a break. What a crazy point that must have been.
And again, I wouldn't be surprised if that really happened because Bulantoy is known as the ninja, the original ninja. He first actually played, just a little history lesson, Bulantoy, his first appearance or first recognition in the PFDA scene was in the first nationals when he played with Extreme in the finals against SP. So Bulantoy was carrying was wearing a jersey like a ninja outfit, and that's how he was known as. So again, like, it's nice to see him now competing against the team that he first started with in mixed nationals.
Yep, another team, another moniker of Antonio Francisco is the Cyborg.
Yeah,
because he really doesn't get tired. But anyway, going back to the game, Rhinomore with disc right now. And they turn it over?
Like they just turned it over again, yeah. Looks like
MULATTO, chance to get the half. Nope, does not connect. But this is crazy. It has been, take note of this, a 4-1 run from MULATTO with a chance to get the half.
Next game for Bridge will start in less than 7 minutes. We'll start in less than 7 minutes for page 3 and 4.
again,
Break
let's see
side
what
flick,
Davao
number
has to
24.
say. Deep shot.
Shooting deep once again. Is it good this time? It is not. Goes over the head of Amor. Here we have Antonio Francisco looking at the option. Floats it on the break side. Receiver slips. It is good.
5 minutes remaining.
Number 0 throws it on the line and resets. Again, that slide. All of the boys moving that disc down. Antonio Francisco floats it again to the break side. Back to Antonio Francisco. There's the shot.
And again,
Bar.
that's what I was saying earlier. Their in-cut game was working very well for them. Again, these last 2 turnovers by MULATTO were both from deep shots to their end zone. And again, it's been very difficult to be able to run in these conditions going deep. It'd be great to see MULATTO changing up their conditions and making it cuts again, and taking their time working the disc down.
Our next game for page 3, BORACAY versus BORACAY. for picture of the day
Looks
versus
like intense activities happening on field one.
last game for 5th and 6th place.
Field 1, 8-5. Favor of S.
Field 1 is 8-5. Looking at the chat in YouTube, we have a lot of support. We have some supporters of MULATTO, Johnny Jan and Don Calcurilla cheering for MULATTO. But Extreme shooting it to the end zone is Ryan Amore all the way to the other side. Is it good?
And we'll be right back.
And we'll be right back.
Pagbalik said, magte-teleport na yan. Score is 10-9.
Yep, clearly, for sure. And 10-9.
And again, our apologies.
Tapos finals na.
No, again, our apologies for these technical difficulties that we're experiencing. You know, we are working on the dime on what exactly we have. So, yeah, going back into this matchups. Here we're seeing the stream between SP and Vicious right now.
SP gets it off a Hawk.
Yeah.
In front of the end zone. It's good. At the rate we're going, we might just see Sunken Pleasure once again appear in the finals of Nationals.
Yeah.
But who their opponent will be is yet to be known between this game. It's such a tight game between Extreme and MULATTO. Extreme came out strong at the start with a 1-5 lead, but then MULATTO just caught up, bringing it to 6-all.
I would actually be very. I'd like to see MULATTO make their first Nationals finals appearance, but again, Extreme is just a contender. They've made 2 out of 6 national appearances in the past. So, it would be. It's a very hard mountain to climb. So, but I'm again, it's really up in the air right now. I don't know which team would make it all the way.
Well, there's an update
looking at
this, it says MULATTO is 7. Is it confirmed?
Yeah, looks like it.
Looks like it. Wow, after the back and forth, where MULATTO still managed to come down with a break.
That actually makes it easier for them to not give up 2 points in one possession, because as we know, MULATTO started the first half on offense, which means Extreme is starting on offense on the second half. So at least this way it's on serve, and MULATTO lessens the advantage of Extreme of leading by 2 points in the second half.
Yep. Shoutouts to Dan Avenia with his previously white jersey, but now brown. But Chubby Mondragon shoots it deep at the first chance. Slips off the hands of Ryan Amore. A good shot nonetheless. We're starting to see some unforced errors. He had a hand at that disc. He could have come down with it, but it just fumbles off. Maybe it's the mud, maybe it's the moisture, maybe it's the pressure. But whatever it is, it's giving MULATTO another chance to extend this lead. Number 72, towering over her mark. Resets.
Again, we see the Mulatto offensive handlers motioning their players to make in cuts, which is the right strategy given the terrain that they're working with. They've been successful so far with moving the disc forward with swings and in cuts. I hope they can continue working down this offense.
Right for pitch 3 and 2, we're expecting yung time. For schedule for 1 hour. 3 and 4, starting time, schedule for 1 hour. Pitch 4, MFA versus G14 for pitch 3.
Jared Castor, number 18. Castor, looking to get the disc again.
Turnover by the Mulatto player who overshoots their pass.
Screen for pitch 2.
Ryan Amor in front of the end zone, looking for options. Stall count rising. Has to reset. Finds one. Number 30 back to Ryan. Finds Chubby Montagron. Not yet in.
Score
Number
by
0. Yeah. Score by Extreme. Get it back on a tie. Finally starting to end that run from Mulatto. They started down at 1-5. They even got the lead at 7-6. But Extreme on the second half gets their first offensive point. Here we see Extreme just talking it over on the sideline. Oh, there's Dada with a bucket hat, but it seems like he's not playing. He has his jersey on though.
I do remember Dada pulling something during the tryouts for World Beach. So I think he's still nursing an injury. Speedy recovery to Dada.
Shoutouts to Dada. But it's just cool to see him here on the sideline showing support, showing his love for his brodies. Seven all. Extreme with a pull. And it's out of bounds. Antonio Francisco to pick up the disc.
It's the soft cap. Fields 1 and 2. 5 minutes. The soft cap.
5 minutes to soft cap. That means there's 15 minutes left in this game. Extreme showing a bit of a flat mark. Bulantoy blades it, but number 11 still comes down with it. Finds the under from number 15. Back to number 11. Bulantoy wants to take control of the game. He wants the disc. He's looking long, but floats it. For an easy under. Bryle with the disc right now on the sideline. Back to the middle. Back to Bulantoy.
Again, this offense is working wonders for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slowly inching towards the end zone. It's gonna take long, but at least they still have possession. And I love how Bulantoy is taking control of the game. In such a high pressure, high stakes game, you need someone to rally your troops on. And Bulantoy is just the right person for that. He's asking for the disc. He's asking for the people to cut, to make movements.
You can check our live streaming via YouTube app.
He's also controlling the
Right.
tempo. He's slowing down the pace. He's using these stoppages or these calls to control the tempo of the game. It's great that now we're seeing better distribution of the disc among all the players of Mulato, whereas earlier in the game we just saw 2 or 3 players moving the disc forward. Now we're seeing equal distribution between the men and women. All tools in their toolbox are being used right now by the Mulato team.
Yep. I think there was a pick call, but it's been honored. Malantoy looking at the other end of the field. Overthrown to number 11. I think we just lost the audio to the field. But yeah, they've done such a good job walking the disc towards their end zone, but unfortunately they turn it over. And who are we to say what they should do? I know it's really hard in front of the end zone against Extreme at that to score a point. Extreme
Overshot and
turns it over. And there's a call.
looks like the extreme player just wanted to get on with it. Like, disc is in.
Let's get
Let's
that.
slap it. Let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
get that. Yeah,
Favor of
Antonio Francisco.
3-4.
Ryle. Find the reset. Call.
Score right now on field 1. I got an update on the field. The score on field 1. It's now 9-6 in favor of SP after a very long point.
Alright. So it seems like Vicious is able to stop the lead from increasing, but we aren't able to catch up. And a turnover there from Mulatto. Risk is too high. A hawk from Extreme. And an umbrella. Is it
Get
good?
out of my view. 3 meters. 3 meters.
Okay, we switch angles. Alright, they switched the angles of the camera. Thank you, Glenn. It seems
Oh,
like
good
it was a
lord.
turnover. Antonio Francisco picks up the disc.
That should be a no man's land. There should be nobody on that middle pitch, I swear. Again, Mulato trying to bring it down. Let's see if they're
Antonio
gonna hug it.
Francisco looking
Nope.
long. Nope.
Oh,
Turn it
my God.
over. Fumble of the hands of Antonio Francisco from that from the underthrown dump.
Soft cap is on.
Okay, we are back.
I think there's a call.
Way before. So soft cap has been called by the announcer, by our friendly announcer Anjo O'Malley, which means that this will be a race to 10 because it'll take effect right after this point. +2 to the leading scorer, but since they're both 7, it's going to be the same. But 8 + 2, 10.
And it's a drop by Extreme.
10-6. Yes. Race to 12.
Ryle. Yeah, again, better movement here from Mulatto across all their players. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties. Signal is just very challenging right now on site.
We just heard from the tournament director, Andrew O'Malley, that the score on field 1 is 10-6 in favor of SP. So their game will be a race to 12. I think a timeout was just called by both by I don't know who's on offense.
Yep. Where's the disc? I would assume. Bulantay called the timeout
Hmm.
based on the body language. Oh no, the disc is away from him. It's on the left hand side.
I don't know how you can see the disc. Oh no, it's under the Dumaguete players. But then again, I wouldn't know.
Yep. So Ping, you've coached a lot of teams over the years. What would you say to your team at this point? 7-all, less than 10 minutes left. What are the rousing words that you will say to your roster, to your 7 players on the field?
Again, just don't overanalyze the situation and just act. Like this is where instinct should come into play, and you don't think, just do. Work with the stuff that you know you're capable of doing. The highest percentage. There's no room for experimentation. There's no room for error. But more importantly, you have to believe that you're capable of doing it.
Last
Um,
set.
you know, it's one of those things that require
Last
mental
7
toughness
minutes. Fields
and
1 and
full
2.
knowledge of what your
Last
body is capable
7
of doing and
minutes.
not holding back. Uh, especially when the score is this tight and the game is this tight. Oh, and Mulato is on offense with a chance to be able to take the lead 8-7.
Call it right, Bulantoy calling the timeout on the sideline. Mulato with a vert stack, but still towing that disc with their male players. See Antonio Francisco just cleaning his hands off the sweat, off the mud, off the moisture. Bryle with the disc right now, number 73 with the red cap call. Downfield.
And again, we're seeing just a three-man weave between the Mulato players. With no real movement coming from their vertical stack, and again, a pick is called.
A violation.
Our I wouldn't know because like a pick is like this,
But
with your hands square, and a violation is like that. I don't know what they were. I don't know what the motion they were doing.
yeah, I saw one V and then one U, so I don't know.
Players pa sa ating sideline na nasa
Line,
center.
line.
There, Antonio Francisco with the disc again at the other end of the field. Finds a male receiver. Is it in?
Sitting po sa
Call on the thrower.
yung camera.
Nope. It is honored. In front of the end zone is number 11. Finds number 25. Threads the needle. Mulatto. Up one. Finds a break.
Score for pitch 2. That's 8-7 in favor of Team Mulatto.
Fields 1 and 2. Last
Right now,
5
you're not
minutes.
even thinking about the time.
Timeout.
With time being said, just last 5 minutes. All Mulato has to do now is just score all the time on offense. Every time that you have possession of the disc, slowly work it down. You're not after the points. You have that 1 point lead. Just play really good defense and walk everything down. Just slow everything down. You don't care if you're dumping the disc the entire time. You don't care if you're moving that. You're just swinging the entire time. If you can swing the disc for 5 minutes, the game is theirs. But it really depends on their defensive stop right now. Okay? It's going to be very interesting to see what is going to happen in the next 5 minutes.
Fields 1 and 2. 4 minutes.
We're starting to hear some wind. I don't know, maybe Mulatto might just come out with a zone here, given what you said. Slow down their offense. Maybe that's the right call. Let's see if they come out with that.
Yeah, you can see also in the background the trees are the tops of these trees are moving from side to side as well. Disc was thrown out of bounds. Still don't know if they're gonna call a break,
8-7.
but it does look like
They
our
are.
handler is making a break call. Yeah. Davao
And Mulatto, yeah.
opting to play man-to-man though.
Yep. I wouldn't blame them. It has gotten them 5 break points so far. If it's working, there's no need to fix it.
May shampoo dito. Instant shower.
That said, a lot of pressure on these handlers. Their marks really surrounding them, forcing them to make difficult throws such as that. Ryan Amor comes down with it. Resets to number 24. Wind is starting to pick up, and it might have been just the cause of that turnover. MULATTO.
Again, just dump and swing for 3 minutes. That's all they need to do. No need to score. Just take possession, keep swinging for 3 minutes. No need for long passes.
Number 97 resets to number 9. Back to number 9 on the sideline. Fakes deep. Stall count is rising. Has to throw it. White jersey comes down with it. In front of the end zone. Chance to get to 9. Floats it. My God. What a point by MULATTO.
That was a great patience of strategy between MULATTO. Again, that was a bailout pass. Bailout pass.
Two bailout passes.
In the end. Yeah.
And Bryle just lays out in front of his teammates, out of test, but out of good vibes. That's exactly what you need as MULATTO to finish this game and come into the finals appearance. Here we see that throw. Here we see some highlights. Oh no, that was the replay of the point.
And again, to all of our
yeah, go ahead.
Again, to all of our all of our spectators on YouTube, we again apologize for the delays in the broadcast, but you have to understand the conditions that we're working with. Our production team, Upstream TV, is trying their best to provide a full coverage of these games. It is not as easy as you think it is. This weather is not cooperating with us at all, and let's hope for a good final here. Again, Extreme can still let's see if Extreme can pull a rabbit out of their hat, but they need to score in less than 30 seconds if they want to make this. If they want to tie it up. Deep by Extreme.
There it is. That's exactly what we need. Chubby Mondragon shoots that deep to Ryan Amor, and then Angeli to receive it, cutting the lead down to 1.
Is on last point. Pwede pa mag-point.
Exactly right there, Anjo. There is a chance, there is a world where Extreme forces a turnover, gets the point for a universal point. The game is not yet over.
Final score for Field 1. Ay, meron ba?
And you know that's very much possible because looking at the last 6 points were played by the Extreme on offense off the pull. So this is gonna be the first time that MULATTO is coming off, starting the point on offense. I'm sure these are very experienced players, but sometimes it just takes the smallest thing, smallest change to put you off your balance.
So I just heard the final score of Field 1 is 11-8. Vicious concedes the last point. I'm guessing they're trying to make up for it and get ready for the third place game. So it looks like Sunken Pleasure is making their way to the final for the 7th year. And let's see who they will be going up against.
On Mulatto, we have Antonio Francisco Braille, number 11. Antonio, looking long, looks to finish the game. Number 11 against Ryan Amar.
Wow!
That's it.
Team Mulatto wins the game for Beach 2. Score is 10.
Mulatto making their
Congratulations to
first.
Mulatto.
Yeah, sorry.
First finals appearance at
Yeah.
Finals.
No congratulations yet, said, because this is not the finals. Although the caliber of game was finals level, this is the first appearance of Mulatto in the finals of mixed nationals. So,
Let's look at that shot once again. Antonio Francisco. What a shot, and what a way for number 11 to come down with it. Extreme was there to contest it. My God.
that
What
was a great game.
Thing.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah.
That's exactly
that was-
the type of games that we will see here in Nationals. Yeah.
And you can see it was a roller coaster, you know. Again, Extreme with that 4-point lead early in the first half, 5-1. And Mulatto going on a 4-point run, tying it up
Yeah.
again, taking half, you know, taking back the serve and coming up with the win at the end of this game. So congratulations to Mulatto for the win. And we want to thank Extreme for that amazing run, that amazing game. And that gives us a really exciting matchup for the next couple of games. We're looking for a battle for third between Vicious and Extreme. So this is round 2 between these two matches. Again, yesterday we had Extreme beat Vicious in a very lopsided game. So we're giving Vicious that opportunity to redeem themselves in this next game between Extreme. And then we've got, again, a first timer in the nationals. We've got a Cinderella story in Davao Mulatto making their first mixed nationals appearance against a 6-time champion, Sunken Pleasure, going for their 7th championship.
And again, Sunken Pleasure has never lost in any finals appearance. So let's see in the finals who will win. Is it Sunken Pleasure or the Cinderella that is Mulatto, the Mindanao stronghold based in Mindanao? Thank you so much for tuning in today. That was one heck of a semifinals match. That was a banger of a game. Just a quick break from us, but we will cover the battle for third match between Vicious and Extreme, the rematch between these two teams. Catch you later.